pilgrimage starts on the 8th of the Hijjah and ends at the sunset of the 13th. Before this, the pilgrim does the following. One, so now he's talking about the three types of a pilgrim. What ritual is he picking? So number one, a pilgrim choosing the tamattu'. A method starts his ihram or consecration at the point of miqat and declares a talbiyah, which is لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك. So you find it and the translation as well. It says on reaching Mecca, he performs the tawaf and the sa'i. He then shaves his head, which is preferable if he comes a month or so before Arafat, or he cuts short his hair if he comes earlier, if he comes few days before Arafat, because he's going to have to shave afterwards on the day of Eid. So if a person coming for Umrah a month or so before the day of Arafat, means that if he shaves, his hair would grow. But if you come a couple of days before Arafat, like you come on the 3rd of the Hijjah, and you perform your Umrah, it says he then releases himself from Ihram and wears his ordinary clothes. He then stays in Mecca or travels to nearby cities, providing he does not return to his hometown. Why did you say he does not return to his hometown? I don't understand. See, if I am from London and I come to Mecca for Umrah on the 2nd day of Shawwal, the first day is Eid of Ramadan, the 2nd day I fly from London to Mecca, perform my Umrah, stay there for a couple of days, and then return to London. When I assume the state of Ihram, again from London to Mecca, I would be initiating a second trip. If I'm initiate, means that I am not in the state of tamattu'. A person in the state of tamattu' who travels one journey from his home to perform two separate rituals. So a person, let's assume from Cairo, Egypt, travels to Mecca, performs Umrah, and stays in Mecca. And when it is time for Hajj, he assumes Ihram and goes for Hajj. This guy is mutamatti', did not return home to offer two rituals. What about if he leaves Mecca and goes to Taif or to Jeddah or to Medina? Isn't he a traveler? The answer is yes, but he did not travel back home. So he's still considered to be on a journey of Hajj and a traveler. This is different from someone in Dubai performing Umrah and going back to Dubai, and then on the 8th of the Hijjah coming for Hajj. This guy is not mutamatti'. His Umrah does not have any connection to his Hajj. And this is a frequently asked questions. People say, Sheikh, after Eid of Ramadan, I went and performed Umrah and back to Riyadh or to Jeddah, and I did not intend to make Hajj, and now I want to make Hajj. Would I be forced to do tamattu'? The answer is no, because you came back to your home, whether you intended it or not. But a person coming from Mumbai after Ramadan, performing Umrah, not intending to go for Hajj, stayed with his son who works in Jeddah, and just before Hajj, he thought of going for Hajj. He says, I want to do ifrad or I want to do qiran. Said, no, can do. He says, why? He says, because you came from Mumbai and performed Umrah and you stayed in the holy shrines or around it without going back home. So by default, you are in the state of tamattu'. So you have to perform tamattu'. So this is the biggest difference, and I hope this makes sense to you. Number two, now we're talking about qiran. A pilgrim choosing the qiran method starts his ihram at the point of miqat, declares labbaik Allahumma labbaik, and says the dua. He says on reaching Mecca, he performs the tawaf and the sa'i. What tawaf is this? It's not Umrah. It is Tawaf al-Qudum. And what sa'i is it? It is sa'i of Hajj. This person and the one after him, they both have the option to make this sa'i earlier. Ifrad. He starts his ihram at the point of miqat and declares labbaik Allahumma labbaik. On reaching Mecca, he performs the tawaf and the sa'i, but he neither shaves his head nor releases himself from consecration. He remains in ihram until he has performed the stoning and the qiran. Now, remember, going to Mecca, doing tawaf al-qudum, then offering sa'i al-hajj is an option. If a person doing qiran or ifrad doesn't want to go to Mecca, he wants to go straight to Mina and from there straight to Arafat, no problem. But on the day of Eid onwards, he has to perform tawaf al-hajj and sa'i al-hajj as well, exactly like al-mutamatti'. I hope this makes a bit of sense to you nowadays. Now, it says here, the tawaf of arrival or tawaf al-qudum is a sunnah for those doing this great duty in either the ifrad or the qiran method. Following this tawaf with sa'i is a recommended sunnah which our Prophet did, alayhi salam. One may also delay the sa'i until he has performed the tawaf of ifada or tawaf al-hajj, that is after attending Arafat, similarly to the one doing tamattu' and the one doing tamattu'. So again, this is an option for the people doing qiran or ifrad.